1, 2, test 1, 2. Okay, we need to start. Something funny. Something funny. Arabic numerals. Um, Turns out Zohar Mamdani's Islamification of New York City is happening quicker than people thought. This tweet by Brian Prazenstein has 15.7 million views in a day. It has 15.7 million views in one day. Jasmine Gold, Arabic girls. Oh god, I need to watch an XQC clip. Let's just watch Asmongold's reaction to this. Bro, the dramatic music. Whoever edited this and then threw that in there is awesome. He throws down the headset, walks away from the camera. Arabic numerals? Yes. In case you are unaware, numbers are Arabic numerals, like 0 through 9 are Arabic numerals. And because math was invented by Arabs. Math was, like the first mathematicians were Arabs. So that's where we have our number system. But it's so funny that like the Islamophobia is just so conditioned into these people that they get triggered by just seeing the word Arabic numerals. I kind of need to see this full clip though. I want to see the context of this. Asmongold. Is he streaming today or something? Asmongold TV. They exposed me. How's it going, everyone? Oh yeah, you guys are right. The screen capture is muted. Thank you. I don't know.
Asmongold
Arabic numerals?
reacts to man. Oh wait, this is. Zoran Mandami is expected to require all New York elementary school students to learn Arabic numerals. This is happening faster than I thought. Oh my god. No way. This how many views does this have on TikTok? 14,000 likes? No way, dude. Wait, there's 3 of them. No. 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 Target audience reached. No. This was a day ago. This was yesterday. No way. I can't believe this. Please say psych, bro. He never acknowledged that it was a joke. People in chat called him out, and he just moved on. I saw it.
Okay, dude. You're not beating the allegations, Asmongold. Like, I'm waiting for you to say, oh yeah, I totally just pretended like I was racist. No, people in chat called him out and he moved on. Please say that they're wrong. Please tell me that you actually knew what Arabic numerals was, but you played along with the joke that the guy wrote. Like, please tell me that, Asmon. I refuse to believe that the top conservative streamer is this stupid. That would, like, I know that conservatives are dumb in general, but a lot of the content creators, a lot of the conservative content creators are smarter than they let on, and they're just grifting. Like Tucker Carlson, he knows what an Arabic numeral is. Nick Fuentes, he knows what an Arabic numeral is. I don't know about Marjorie Taylor Greene, or like, I guess I don't know about Asmongold. I guess there are a lot of fucking idiots on the right too. But Asmon, please tell me that you know what that is.
I remember seeing this and thinking only the dumbest knuckle-dragging, mouth-breathing idiots could fall for it. But I was still so sure that someone would. I didn't expect to have a video of it live streamed hours later, though. That was a quick turnaround. Gentlemen, I think this might just be a new masterpiece.
Even Hassan said it's a joke. What the hell is wrong with these people?
Arabic numerals? This is happening faster than I thought.
Fucking AI David Attenborough narrator that he has to have come in to save his ass.
It's a joke. There's no way he's being sincere. It's bait. He's not. You guys literally. If you think this is real, brother, Asmongold worked for the IRS.
It's bait, bro. It's bait. This is rage bait. Those are normal numbers. No, bro. Like, no, these are numbers. These are normal. You got baited, Asmon. These are Roman. No, these are Roman numerals. No, Asmon. No. Stop the farm. Rage bait. It's bait. No, bro. You know Sharia law is next. Google it, bro. Arabic numerals are just numbers. Look, bro, is this the taqiyya that the Islam has where they're lying to me, telling me they're normal numbers?
Bro, Asmon, like, he's definitely playing into it, right? Because, like, look at these people. I don't know if these people are bots or if they're actually just this dumb. Like, what do we have here? This is a waste of time and taxpayer money. Who is this person that posted this? Sarah Sizzle. Is this just a bot account? Nope. Faith, family, and country. Trying to control the narrative again, responding to Jasmine Crockett. No, this is a serious person. This is a serious person that is responding to the Arabic numerals tweet with deeply held concern about her children learning Arabic numerals. Mary Sisson, she responded to, political violence is wrong, I'm MAGA. When corrupt politicians start going to jail, then we can start like an AI generated sign. Okay. Actually just like a brain broken conservative. Like when Asmongold is playing into this it's not a valid excuse to be like, oh, he's rage baiting. Like, a lot of conservatives actually believed this and got triggered by it. Look, top comment, that's what we've been calculating with for the past 500 years. Teaching Arabic numerals to elementary school students does nothing to advance American culture and ideals, and it should not be done. Like, is this a real person? Alex Ritz? We're gonna do this for like 3 more people. Oh, this is a Daily Wire host. Like, he's retweeting libs of TikTok. Okay. That's 2 conservatives that have been completely brain broken. Stella at Escobedo. Oh, are all of these people just joking? Oh, proud Zionist. Okay, right off the bat. One America News. No, she is also just completely brain broken. That's 3 conservatives in a row. Why? Brian, please explain why this is necessary. Ron Vining. This is going to be our 4th conservative we're taking a look at. He's in the theme park. Runs a theme park in Bangkok. End property tax. Okay. So he's just a real estate agent that doesn't want property tax to be a thing. All right, and let's just do one more. Let's see if we can go 5 for 5. I like the people that are taking it seriously, right? Conservative Daily News. Official account for Conservative Daily News, where Americans go for news. Yeah, another just brain broken person. Democrat admits Epstein was pulling her strings by Harold Hutchinson at CDN. Oh my God. Yes, it's the Democrats that are the ones involved with Epstein.
Is this happening to me right now? Am I being gaslighted by Muslims? Is this happening? It's happening at this very moment. Bro, we gotta stop this quick before it gets worse. Let me go back. I'll find some more of these posts here too. Where's the rest of it? Assassin's Creed team has started working on the next Assassin's Creed. Just Just stop, guys. Just stop. Just stop it. Let's
With
see.
that money, and they're still trying to correct it. They're still mad. They're still mad. Good God. Oh my God. You are understanding it, bro. Arabic numerals, bro. Make them gay. Oh my fuck.
Dude, even the fucking people in Asmongold's chat are like confused by it because they're like, Arabic numerals, that's bad, right? Like, you see his chat and they're like, you're underestimating how bad he's gonna be. Sure, maybe Arabic numerals aren't bad, but you know, he's gonna do other bad things, right? Like the joking about believing the Arabic numerals thing doesn't hit as hard when it's undercut by your belief that he really is an Islamo terrorist that's going to destroy the city of New York.
Arabic numerals. Isn't Arabic numeral just 1 to 10?
It's also not 1 to 10. Like, it's the specific digits that we use. It's not 1 through 10. 0 through 9. Bro, even the comment here, they're like 0 through 9, but close. Dude, he's like, all right, guys, fine. Like, I wasn't baited into this. Let me respond to it now. Arabic numerals, isn't that just 1 through 10? Entire chat fills up with it's 0 through 9, but close. How long is it going to be until Asmongold shaves completely bald? He's not going to look worse.
This is wow.
It's also funny because this political commentary from Asmongold, where he's like, and it's happening quicker than I thought, is indistinguishable from his regular commentary. The commentary where he's like, guys, I'm joking, I couldn't possibly be that dumb, is the exact same stuff he gives you when he's being deadly serious.
The acting was so good, even chat thought it was serious. Layers of farming. Well, to me, this is what okay, let me read some of the other comments, okay? How about we read some of the other comments of the people that were listening to this? Okay. Give me a second. All right, let's look at it. Here we go. If I could draw an image of a hunter finding knuckle-shaped drag marks and saying there were Asmongold viewers here, but instead of that, there's also... Oh my God. Please say psych, bro. He never acknowledged it. Having linked to a source... You're making shit up. What is this? How he got outraged and then continued to rant about it. That's how you stay dumb. Never acknowledge it and move on to the next target. Next topic. That's because he's a goddamn dumbass. Oh my God. Wait till you hear about Amandami is going to make sure how dihydrogen... Oh, this is the water. Yeah, they did this one too. The Arabic numerals of 0 through... Man, the problem with jokes like this is that dumb fuck conservatives won't get the joke and will just resort to racism. Please make it very clear that you were always aware that it was bait and your comments were referring to the joke. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Asmon, you can't pretend like conservatives are above this. You can't pretend like this is some kind of woke liberal bullshit where they think that conservatives are all stupid and they're going to fall for the Arabic numerals tweet. When it's literally happening, like, you can say that you were joking. Look at the replies on that original post. It's all fucking moronic people that have basically programmed themselves to be bots where they just respond to certain buzzwords like Arabic or Islamic or communist or socialist, and then they just are like, this is bad for America, I can't believe this is happening. They actually have no thought whatsoever. It's like a simple stimulus to a response. That's what they've devolved into.
What are you
Like
talking about?
slime.
I mean, I don't know why they elected him either. Yeah, guys.
This man's so boring to watch.
I mean, I don't know why they elected him either. Yeah, guys. I don't know. Like, it's... Yeah, what do you mean?
This is a 22-minute long video. How does he talk about this shit for 17 more minutes?
What joke? What do you mean? Who's laughing? Yeah, you're not going to be laughing. I told y'all not going to be laughing whenever he's the mayor. You're not going to be laughing. Like, that's it. I don't watch this dude, but I hope the clip isn't real. I don't want to shock you, but it's more okay.
My mic wasn't working out.
Buddy, it's real. Admiral Akbar 134. Oh, bad news, bud. If you watched him, you would know that he's so bad at acting and telling jokes. And this right here is one badly executed joke. You're giving this fool too much credit. Oh my fucking god. It's a trap? I guess so. Wiki about Joe Rogan. Please tell me this is bait. You guys made it as a stream find a source. Clip from yesterday comes back speaking his mocking voice, referencing it today. Yes, there it is. Wow. I bet so many people fell for it. You see it right in the comment section? I really think this is a new masterpiece. I do. I think this is a new masterpiece. This is great. we haven't had one like this. Yeah, this is great. Are these the Reddit intellectuals I hear so much about? Yes, of course, right? Isn't this Asmon's brand of humor? Yes, correct. Two types of dumb people: those who don't know Arabic numerals and those who can't tell Asmon's clearly joking, and those who pretend Asmon is not joking. Oh my god, joking. The get out of jail card is the get out of jail for free card for idiots. I don't know. He's a dipshit. Bad social cue.
Okay.
Nobody
we're not gonna watch. Oh my god, he's still reading comments. Does he do anything other than read comments in this video?
I'm surprised that I played it off low enough to have everybody just believe it like this. This is great because, like, to me, like, I feel like the water clip and this one are like
really, Asmon. Like, you're surprised that people think you're a brain dead troglodyte. You're surprised about that. Man, you need to gain a fresh perspective of yourself. Gain a perspective of how you're being viewed by the internet at large, because even the people that watch you think you're an idiot.
So it's so obvious, right? But no, absolutely not. When education is set by Rockefeller to make workers and not thinkers, you end up a lot of people who shouldn't be making decisions. Exactly. So I think we need more workers and we need less thinkers. We have a lot of thinkers right now. How'd that turn out? Yeah, how's that turning out, guys? We've got a whole lot of thinkers. Not so good, huh? No, people online really hate you, so they'll eat this up. Oh, I hope so. Oh, yeah, the Metal Gear Solid. That's right, the other one here. Let me see if I can find it. Asmon Gold, Metal Gear Solid, political. Asmon Gold says that he hopes that Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater doesn't make the game political. 6,000 upvotes.
Asmon Gold is just a conservative troll online. Like, I hope that he's joking about all of his business. Says that, oh yeah, we should genocide Palestinians. That was a joke, right? That was a joke that he was saying that we should murder protesters that are protesting against, like, ICE. ICE should just murder them. That's a joke that he's saying.
Caliber, they posted that. Yes, that's what I thought. Yeah, it was. You're reading a lot of the comments, and these people are like actually so fucking mad. People
what the
actually
fuck is going on the screen? He's reacting to a video of himself reacting to something. He's reacting to a video where he was reacting to a video of himself reacting to a tweet about someone.
thought that I thought that
I'm sorry, I don't have enough brain rot on the internet to watch it. It's like, that's a true dose of internet brain rot. Anyway, like, the whole idea that, my god, liberals think that conservatives would actually fall for this. It just shows how dumb liberals are, because they think that conservatives are so dumb, and then you actually look and it's like, all of these popular mega accounts on Twitter are falling for this. At Grok, is this true? You know, megas are dumb and don't know Arabic numerals are literally. Like, she writes, at Grok, is this true? Did Grok respond? The claim is satire. Oh my god, even Grok knows. Okay. Oh, guys. What is going on Twitter, by the way? What is going on Twitter? Why is Anna Kasparian, like, doing podcasts with Tucker Carlson? Like, what is going on with Anna Kasparian? I think that's the question that I need to ask here. He reads the leaked documents proving Jeffrey Epstein was working directly with Israel, brokering military deals and surveillance. Okay, where's her on Tucker?
Even if you're doing well, even if you're affluent, Do you really want to live in a country where as soon as you walk outside your door, there's a massive homeless encampment?
Oh, I agree.
You know, do you really want to live in a country like that? Because I don't. Do you want to live in a country where close to 100,000 of your fellow Americans are dying of drug overdoses and our government seems to not really care much and in fact exploits that as a talking point to justify a potential war with Venezuela, which has nothing to do with fentanyl, by the way.
Sure. I know.
The other thing is,
Sure.
even if you're doing well, even if you're affluent, do you really want to live in a country where
It is weird. Like, Anna Kasparian has been taking a rightward shift for years at this point. And it's weird that the framing here is like, even if you're wealthy, like the framing isn't, even if you're wealthy, don't you have empathy for people that are suffering? The framing is, aren't you embarrassed or like, aren't you revolted at the sight of a homeless encampment on your front lawn or like right outside your house? It's like, you can't have, she doesn't address wealthy people from the standpoint of having empathy for their fellow human being. She addresses it as, even if you're doing well, there are social issues that can still be a bit of a hindrance to you. It would be a minor inconvenience, but it would still be an inconvenience all the same. So why wouldn't you just want this issue to be fixed, right? I don't know. Anna Kasparian has been rubbing me the wrong way. She's said some pretty weird fucking tweets. I kind of want to watch her whole thing with Tucker Carlson. This is Turks. Uyghur. Maybe the guy known for banging porn stars while his wife is pregnant should avoid passing judgment. Because he's talking about Thomas Massey's wife. Okay, yeah, what is this? Oh, this is the entire thing. The real battle isn't with Mark Levin. The real battle is not to become Mark Levin.
Apologize. That. Wait a second.
incredible person, because I
It's the episode with Anna Kasparian. Maybe you should watch this. Five years ago, I accused Aaron J. Mate of unfounded claims that he was being paid by Russia. While I stupidly and sincerely believed it at the time, no evidence has been materialized to prove it. I'm embarrassed by it, and I owe him, along with his readers, a long overdue apology. Like, I don't know. I don't know why she is, I guess she's always had this kind of instinct to just, like, attack people without any actual evidence for it. It's a little concerning. I just want to watch the interview with Tucker Carlson to see what it is, because she said some like seriously bad stuff. Like, look at this. Anna Kasparian is replying to this person, and this person is literally just like doing the Kanye anti-Semitism meme. Person's like, I have a Jewish best friend. I ignored red flag after red flag because I didn't want to be accused of being anti-Semitic. She installed hidden cameras in my office. What is this? Took off with all my employees and ran and told my clients, but in her attempt to ruin my reputation in business. On top of that, she had her powerful Jewish donor friend support her completely untrue in an attempt to bankrupt me. It's like, I learned a very valuable lesson. So what's the lesson? To be anti-Semitic? Like, this is just an unhinged anti-Semitic conservative person that is doing the like Christ is king type of grift, saying that, you know, Jews are bad because they killed Christ, and I'm just gonna like use my faith as a vector to attack Jewish people and thus get internet clout for myself. And like, Anna Kasparian's fucking supporting this person. Her comment is this: don't allow these pieces of shit to get to you. They live off our resources and have the audacity to insult us. You should feel extremely proud for overcoming addiction. Like, and it's because it's stop anti-Semitism, which let's be honest, that's a conservative Zionist account, Stop Anti-Semitism. I'm pretty sure Stop Anti-Semitism is the account that was, doing that contest where it's like top anti-Semite of the year, and they had Hassan and like Candace Owens in the top 5. It's like, really, you're comparing Hassan to Candace Owens in terms of anti-Semitism? Birthing person, yeah, that's what triggered her. It's like, this is not a consistent anti-Zionist take. This is anti-Semitic, okay? Like, don't allow these pieces of shit to get to you. It's one person, who's running Stop Anti-Semitism. They live off our resources and have the audacity to insult us. Who's they in this situation? Are they the Zionists? Because at the end of the day, everyone that's in class, the people who are Zionists are Americans. They are in favor of an American imperialist project, which is Israel, okay? But it's Israel is like funded by Americans, and it's created by Americans. And the people in the country of America that are supporting Israel are Americans. So the whole idea of they live off of our resources and they have the audacity to insult us, it's like getting into a little bit of like Jews controlling the government, Jews controlling America. Not like it's I don't even necessarily think that like a Zionist occupied government is a anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, but when you say that like Israel has occupied our government, then yeah, that is lending itself to anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. We Are Charlie Kirk. No, I have not heard that song and I don't want to hear it. So anyway, let's take a listen to what Anna Kasparian has to say with Tucker Carlson.
Pretty much every morning you wake up and
You're so right.
and deciding, wait a second, a lunatic to pull back.
Why is she even talking with Tucker Carlson? Like, he has a Holocaust denier on his podcast, and then Anna Kasparian's like, yes, this sounds like a great opportunity. This sounds like a great time for me to show up.
Well, she disagrees with me, I'm sure, on a million issues, is motivated by a desire to figure out what is best for the country that we live in. It's not about Israel at all. Sorry, Mark Levin. It's about us. And I think Anna Kasparian really cares about the United States. And so with that in mind, I'm just very happy to introduce her now. Anna, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Tucker. I appreciate it.
I'm worried about where this is going. I'm worried about all the Nazi talk, not just because it's directed at me and you, but because once you start talking like that, it's kind of hard to walk it back, and it's kind of hard to
immediately. Oh, it's hard to walk back calling someone a Nazi. Well, if you have a good reason for calling them a Nazi, then there should never be a cause to walk back calling them a Nazi.
To disapprove of violence when the people you're calling Hitler get killed. Like, how could you be sad when Hitler dies? So where are we going, and how do we stop the introduction of like Nazi, Hitler, fascist into our conversation? We need.
Remember when Anna Kasparian was having an argument with Cenk Uygur about whether you could call Donald Trump a fascist when he was running for president in 2024, and he's like, I'm going to lock up all of my political enemies. I'm going to sue them. I'm going to allow Israel to finish the job. I'm going to deport the most amount of Americans that have ever been deported before. And Anna's like, well, you can't call him fascist because he only said that he wants to do fascist things. And he did a lot of fascist things in his first administration. So far in his second administration, he hasn't done any fascist things. It's like, he's not president yet. You can call him fascist.
To pull back on that, I think.
Well, obviously you're right about that. There's no question. And I think what you're also correct about is the fact that these words are.
You're right about, well, there's no question about what? You can't call someone Nazis when they say Nazi shit?
I think. See, hit violence when the people you're calling Hitler get killed? Like, how could you be sad when Hitler dies? So where are we going, and how do we stop the introduction of like Nazi, Hitler, fascist into our conversation? We need to pull back on that, I think.
Well,
We need to pull back on calling people Nazis. Remember that conservatives call people Nazis like as easy as putting on their socks.
obviously you're right about that. There's no question. And I think what you're also correct about is the fact that these words are specifically being used in a way to intimidate people and persuade them to avoid speaking out against what they find to be a huge problem in our country's priorities right now. And what I would like to
What? So because Anna Kasparian has been called a Nazi, like, listen, I compare people like Netanyahu to the Nazis because he's doing a genocide. Anna Kasparian is called a Nazi, though, because she's saying anti-Semitic things on social media, and she says that calling someone a Nazi is trying to prevent political activism. On my side, I call Netanyahu a Nazi because it's a form of political activism. It's a useful categorization tool to quickly draw comparisons between what the IDF is doing currently in Israel and what a known, like, evil historical quantity is. God, oh my god, fucking suck at this.
say to
But yeah,
anyone
for
who's been
Anna.
smeared as an anti-Semite when they don't have any hatred in their hearts at all for the Jewish people is don't let them win.
She's literally just talking about herself. Oh my god, that's actually pretty funny. I'm getting smeared as an anti-Semite. I have no hatred in my heart. Yeah, but what about the people that actually are Nazis? Like, you're not going to talk about that? You're not going to say that it's actually could be important to apply a quick label that a lot of people can recognize? Holy shit, dude.
When they do that to you, because you know in your heart you're not an anti-Semite, you know in your heart that you're not a Nazi. The people
If as long as you can feel it in your heart, you're not an anti-Semite, you're not a Nazi, because you know it in your heart. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people say, as long as you believe in yourself. What is this Disney ass bullshit? Looking Disney princess ass. Anna Kasparian and the not anti-Semitic prince.
closest to you in your life know that. And so you as an American have every right in the world to be critical of the fact that regardless of which presidential administration we're talking about, our priorities are messed up. And there isn't enough focus on all the various aspects of American society that are completely falling apart right now as we speak. You know, there's been political violence in this country. I'm going to put my cards on the table and say, you know, I've been guilty of using inflammatory rhetoric, certainly.
What did you say? Her rhetoric. We should murder Charlie Kirk. That's the rhetoric that she said. No, what kind of political rhetoric have you contributed to the violence? Come on, give me an example. Give me an example of how your rhetoric has contributed to violence and how the rhetoric you're using now doesn't contribute to violence.
I think what you're saying here is important, especially as it pertains to how Americans communicate with one another about these incredibly controversial issues. I get that people get passionate, but you have to understand the motivations of the person who's trying to smear you, number one. Number two, if you are met with this type of rhetoric from a fellow American,
This is literally just an agreement interview. That's all that it is. Anna Kasparian going on to Tucker Carlson's show, simply to complain about being called an anti-Semite or like not a part of the left, someone who's leaving the left, drifting to the right, is just her complaining.
You're so right. Do not become what you claim to hate. Don't become hateful yourself. I allowed that to happen to me to some extent during Trump's first term. I have a lot of remorse about that because I think there are a lot of really great.
This is so stupid. This is so stupid. She literally. She said two things. Don't become what you claim you hate. Okay? That's valid criticism. And then she said, don't you hate yourself. Like, don't use hatred yourself. I don't hate people hating things. I hate fascism. Like, what are we talking about here? You can be hateful against fascists. That's completely acceptable. Don't become what you hate. Don't hate yourself.
Don't become hateful yourself.
Don't become hateful yourself. It's so ridiculous. It really is.
I allowed that to happen to me to some extent during Trump's first term. I have a lot of remorse about that because I think there are a lot of really great people in this country. They voted for Trump. It turns out I don't care. It doesn't matter who they voted for. It doesn't say anything about who they are as people. And more importantly, they're my fellow Americans who have participated in what makes this country great, which is our ability to voice our support and cast our ballot for who we feel is best to represent us. So I just think there's something kind of interesting happening in the country right now that gives me a little bit of optimism, gives me a little bit of hope. People are starting to see beyond partisanship and instead kind of understand, okay, wait a minute, we're all Americans. It feels like a lot of the framing around partisan divides is completely manufactured and in fact is utilized.
What are you talking about? You can say that there might be a difference between like Americans, like the voters and their politicians, but there is a stark difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. I mean, just look at the most topical issue of today, the release of the Epstein files. There were no Republicans supportive of that except for Marjorie Taylor Greene, Massey, and Boebert, 3 Republicans. All of the other ones were adamantly opposed to releasing the files until Trump realized he couldn't stop it anymore, and he's like, all right, release the files, and then they all switched their votes. They literally said, like, yeah, I wasn't in favor of releasing it until Trump told me to. There's not as much of a political divide as we think. One part of this country, one political wing of the country is completely embraced fascism. Like, what are you talking about, Anna? We can't be hateful because the political divides aren't as big as we think.
By members of the media to divide us and to distract us from the fact that our government is not focused on taking care of us. And so I just really want to drive that point home.
It's not, dude, she is actually just completely turned into a grifter. She's like, our government isn't focused on taking care of us. Motherfucker, it's not the government isn't focused. It's a political party that's not focused on taking care of us. And as far as the Democrats are concerned, there's the progressive Democrats that actually want to take care of people. And then there's the institutional corporate Democrats that just want to take care of people enough to differentiate themselves from Republicans so that they can still get corporate donations into their coffers. And then when they retire from politics, get like a cushy job on some kind of board or something as a thank you for giving corporations so many tax cuts and government deals. Like, you can't just say the government doesn't want to take care of us when you have a Republican Party literally trying to strip healthcare away from millions of Americans. Like, what are you talking about? We just had the Trump administration like 2 weeks ago suing to not feed starving children and women and men that were unemployed. The administration was suing to not feed them. And Anna comes on to Tucker Carlson's show and is like, we need to just remember that we don't have a government. Like, we shouldn't be focused on political divides. We need to just maintain focus on the fact that we have a government that doesn't want to take care of us. We have a government that doesn't want to take care of us. Who in the government doesn't want to take care of us? This is what people are so mad at Cenk and Anna for. Because they go onto these conservative outlets and they pull their punches. They tailor make their content whenever they show up on these conservative outlets to be palatable to conservatives. And there's a difference between being like framing your framing your statements and your beliefs and positions in a way that is going to reach different audiences and be most effective in different audiences versus actually changing the things you're saying. Like when you say that we have a government that doesn't take care of us, that is a different thing you're saying than we have a Republican Party that is stripping away healthcare and social services from people. We had Elon Musk come in and cut cancer research. He cut Meals on Wheels for senior citizens. He cut HIV medication for hundreds of thousands of people in around the world. Like there's a difference between actually pointing at the real problem and just hand waving and obfuscating. That's not changing your rhetoric to match your different audiences. That's changing your positions themselves. That's like the true definition of a grifter.
Don't fall for the gross rhetoric. Don't partake in it. And try to see the humanity in everyone before you allow yourself to devolve into the very thing that you hate.
But the humanity in everyone, what are you talking about? She's talking about see the humanity in people like Charlie Kirk before you criticize them. See the humanity in people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump before you criticize them. Fuck off. We're focused about the humanity of people that are actually suffering, that are going, like the millions of people that are going to have worse lives as a result of the policies of this horrendous administration that we have right now. And you're putting on kitty gloves to make Tucker Carlson and his audience feel good. They have the leftist liberal being like, yeah, there are just like shadowy bad people that we should shake our fists at and get mad. She's not going to shine a spotlight on any of it.
Now, I will say it's
like they're allergic to specifics. They're actually allergic to specifics.
really hard for me to practice that when it comes to members of the IDF and Netanyahu in particular.
Look at that. An absolute refusal to acknowledge the Trump administration's role in hurting people too, hurting everyday people too. But she's going to list off the IDF all day because she's talking to the wing of the conservative movement that is anti-Semitic and anti-Israel. At least right now, they're anti-Israel.
But I think your message.
Just keep in mind, like, Nazis are not anti-Israel. The original Nazis wanted to deport all of the Jews from Germany because Nazis and fascists are in favor of ethno-states. And, like, they're like, oh yeah, we'll just deport the Jews, but it's really hard to deport them, so we're just gonna like build camps and kill them all. Really, that's what the original Nazis wanted, and so they'd be fine with Israel. They would literally just be fine with Israel. And the only reason that you see all of these anti-Semitic freaks on the right criticizing Israel right now is because it's an avenue where they can tap into the anger that people are experiencing under the Trump administration, because they're like it's quite literally just what Hitler did. Like, Donald Trump recognized that there was a dissatisfaction in America. People were not happy with their lives. People wanted a status quo change. That's why it was political suicide when Kamala Harris said, I wouldn't have done anything different than what Joe Biden did. Okay, then just don't fucking run. Like, we can run Joe Biden's corpse. He'd have a better chance than you, because he has name recognition. Like, that's why that was horrible. Donald Trump is like, vote for me. I'm gonna get rid of all of the immigrants and the trans. They're gonna go. We're gonna make your lives better by getting rid of the immigrants. You're seeing the exact same thing happen by this new anti-Semitic version of MAGA, where they're like, yeah, if you go with us, we're just gonna blame Israel for everything that's wrong with our lives. And Israel is fucking shitty, and they're ruining millions of people's lives around the world, and especially in the Middle East. But It's the exact same thing that the Nazis did, scapegoating the Jews. That's what you're getting right now from people like Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, and Anna Kasparian is being used as a stool pigeon to bolster this, to lend some kind of legitimacy to their ideology. But as soon as they get into power, like, they might not fund Israel as much, but it's not like they're morally opposed to an ethno state, because Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, and Candace Owens want an ethno state in the U.S. That's why they're in favor of Donald Trump deporting millions of immigrants, because they want an ethno state. Yes, Candace Owens also wants a white ethno state.
Message is the correct message.
So I saw this. I've been brooding about this for the last couple of days because I am worried that the violence will accelerate. And I've been in countries where this happens. It gets to a certain point, and your cousin gets killed, and at that point, you can't think clearly, and you get swept up in it. That is a very familiar cycle to anyone who's seen it. So the only way to stop that is by controlling our own behavior.
What? Your cousin gets killed? Is he talking about Charlie Kirk? I'm actually confused with what he's talking about. Is he talking about Israel and Palestine? He's saying that, like, Palestinians are radicalized by Israel killing their family members? In which case, I 100% agree. That might be the most agreeable thing that Tucker Carlson has ever uttered.
And by being honest about it. And as I was thinking about this, I saw that you apologized to someone publicly for something that you had said about him. And I just, it was weird that we were having the same thoughts at the same time. But can you explain that?
Sure. So about 5 years ago, Aaron Mate, who is a journalist and is actually doing a lot of really great work, especially in his coverage of what's happening in Gaza, had reported some things that I disagreed with in regard to what was happening in Syria, right? So he didn't deny that Bashar al-Assad had, in some instances, used chemical weapons, but there was one particular instance that he was denying, and I disagreed with him on that. Who's right, who's wrong, that doesn't even matter at this point. I don't even know why I allowed that one minor disagreement to basically whip me up into this crazy frenzy and this
been there, baby.
Right?
So
yes.
Where all of a sudden I'm like, no,
He's
Aaron
so
Mate
weird.
definitely, he's getting funded by the Russians. Definitely funded by the Russians. And so on TYT one day, Cenk and I were discussing Syria, and I just blurted that out. And I was in a different headspace at that time. I'd like to think that I've matured a little bit since then. And I just kept doubling down. I wouldn't apologize. There were some
sounds familiar.
circumstances.
Sounds familiar. Like maybe the birthing persons thing. Oh, you're a different person now? Okay. God, how the hell are you supposed to beat this level? This level's kicking my ass. Dude, stop throwing books at me. That's so rude. I need like a weapon that siphons HP when I deal hits with it. Or if I can do critical hits. But I don't know how to do critical hits on people laying down. All right, let's continue, Anna. Talk to me about how much you've changed from spurious accusations of someone working with Russia to, and you weren't able to listen to reason and you just insisted on doubling down. Tell me how different you are now. Tell me how much more reasonable of a person you are now.
Things that I would point to, but really nothing solid to prove that Aaron Mate is funded by the Russians. And so over the last year in particular, I just kept seeing his posts on X. I actually was on a panel with him on Piers Morgan's show, and he and I were very much on the same page in regard to the topic we were discussing. And every single time he would come up in my mind, I've just felt really bad about myself because I smeared him and I never apologized, and that's not okay. And so I came across another one of his posts today that I liked on X. And I was like, you know what? Now is the time. It's been 5 years. It's embarrassing that it's been 5 years. Now is the time for me to practice what I preach, to lead by example and apologize to him unequivocally. And he was I was met with grace. He was very, very kind, and he accepted my apology, and I'm very grateful for that. But there's another point I want to just quickly make about this. If you are in the media, understand, like, we are all flawed, and you're right, Tucker, we all do change, some for the better, some for the worse. It is okay to admit when you're wrong. It is okay to apologize. It doesn't make you, I don't know, a less credible person if you admit you were wrong. And so just something to keep in mind if you happen to be in the media and you've made a mistake, or you've accidentally smeared someone, or you intentionally smeared someone and then realized it was wrong, just apologize.
Or realized it was wrong.
I just think that's such a beautiful story that you just told, and really at the heart of everything I care about. And I'm wondering, why do you think your because we talk for a living, you've talked for a living for 20 years, something like that. That's every day, always talking on camera. But this followed you for 5 years. I just think it's so interesting that it kept coming back to you. Why do you think that is? And how did you feel after you said that in public?
Oh my God, who gives a fuck?
At first I felt scared.
You know what song I have stuck in my head? The stupid freaking Bill Nye song from Smiling Friends. I don't even know why. It was like randomly popped in there, but no, not the Charlie Kirk, not the We Are All Charlie Kirk song. Who cares what Anna said? A guy was funded by the Russians like 5 years ago. God, why are they talking about that? Really don't have anything else interesting to talk about. Okay, oh my God, I'm wrecked in this level. We are Charlie Kirk.
Scared after I said that in public, because, you know, sometimes you're met with people who, even though they're not the ones who got.
I mean, this is obviously just disingenuous. It's not that she realized she was wrong. It's that she now likes the things that this guy's saying, and that's why. Like, people want to act like they've changed. No, you haven't changed. You just are like, oh, now I like the things he's saying, so I'm going to pretend that I was a different person back then, and I was less willing to listen to valid criticism. That's why, like, you're on Tucker Carlson's network because you're not listening to valid criticism. You're not listening to people being like, why the fuck are you, like, making yourself palatable to these fucking, like, Christian fundamentalist Nazis? Like, what is wrong with you? She's, like, once again, this is all just an effort of her to maintain / build relationships with media figures that she thinks she can use to aid her career. That's all that it is.
Weird. They're not the ones receiving the apology. They won't accept it, and they just keep doubling down on how you're a terrible person, and that's fine. That's fair. But to my surprise, a lot of people were really happy to see that, because it's so rare these days, especially on social media. And look, especially over the last, I would say 3.5 years, I've just personally realized something, which was, okay, what is my identity? Like, am I just Armenian, right? And I love my Armenian heritage, absolutely love it. But I was born and raised in America, and I love this country. And if you do love this country, engaging in divisive garbage that just tears this country apart, that makes Americans turn on one another, is really not the way to go. And so I just made a decision at some point that I'm not going to engage in that. And the only time that I will allow myself a little more freedom my rhetoric is when I'm referring to a foreign country that is harming us. Okay.
Yes.
So,
This is so lame. This is so lame. Oh, so what? What makes it less of a bad thing to be what makes it less of a bad thing to be disparaging when it's against a foreign country? But just because they're Americans, they have some kind of innate value according to you? Like, what are we doing here? You think that, like, Israelis are fundamentally different than Americans? Put your money where your mouth is. Practice what you preach and actually hold yourself to account by if you think that rhetoric can be harmful and damaging to people, then don't use damaging rhetoric when it comes to Israelis. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that rhetoric is damaging and it is dividing the country, but also I'm gonna just use it against Israelis because I think like I just don't care because it's harming, because Israelis are harming people. Well, you know what else? Republicans are harming people too. Republicans and corporate Democrats are funding Israel, so why can't you use disparaging rhetoric against Democrats and Republicans in this country? It really is just absolute bullshit that she's spewing. And what it is, obviously, because it doesn't make any logical sense, it's her saying, I'm not going to criticize you, Tucker Carlson, because we're both Americans, but I'm just going to criticize Israelis. That's what it is she's saying. We can criticize Israelis together, so let's not criticize each other. I'm going to team up with you. I mean, I guess I have to appreciate the fact that she's just telling us that she's going to grift with the American conservatives and grift together against Israel. Pretty nice.
The United States, in the case of my fellow Americans, in the case of people I disagree with politically, let's have that conversation. It's okay if it gets fiery. I'm known to get very passionate, but I hope that the message I'm sending is that, again, I see the humanity in the person I'm disagreeing with first and foremost, and that once the debate is over, there's no engaging in the dehumanizing, disgusting rhetoric that Mark Levin honestly has been spewing for many, many years. And now it's being directed toward you because you had the audacity to criticize the foreign country that he seems to care far more about than our own. That's the way I see it. And I knew this was going to happen, Tucker. They were waiting for something to pin on you outside of your evidence-based critique of what's happening in this U.S.-Israel alliance. And in fact, I had a conversation about this with someone close to me. So someone told me, look, everything that you've been saying about what's happening in Gaza and what Israel's been up to is backed up by evidence, right? So they can't really come after you for that. But what they will do is find you in a moment of weakness where you make a mistake and they'll destroy you. So be careful because they're watching.
That's correct.
Well, that moment never happened, or hasn't.
Well, I thought you just said that it did happen.
By evidence, right? So they can't really come after you. U.S.-Israel alliance. And in fact, I had a conversation about this with someone close to me. So someone told me, look, everything that you've been saying about what's happening in Gaza and what Israel's been up to is backed up by evidence, right? So they can't really come after you for that. But what they will do is find you in a moment of weakness where you make a mistake and they'll destroy you. So be careful because they're watching.
That's correct.
Well, that moment never happened, or hasn't happened yet. But what I have noticed is they can just take you out of context, which has happened.
Yeah.
And as a result, I was met with violence in my own neighborhood by someone who was absolutely convinced
Someone
that I'm
took you out of context and you were met with violence in your own
a Jew
neighborhood?
hater, which of course I'm not. So that's the kind of situation we're dealing with right now. And it's scary, but the only thing you can do is really control your own behavior. You can't control.
No, she doesn't. Connor McCullough, come on. I won't take that kind of slander about Anna Kasparian. Bro, like, I'll say that she's anti-Semitic. I'm not going to say that she frequents the comedy mothership. We're trying to elevate the level of conversation that we're having on this stream. I can't believe you would level such a base insult at someone. That's ridiculous. I might have to give you a timeout for that. I can't believe you'd say that Anna Kasparian enjoys the comedy mothership. Dude, I can't think of a worse thing to say about someone. Seriously. Like, I've seen Netflix specials better than what I can only imagine happens in the comedy mothership. I guess the Netflix specials are just kind of the dregs of the comedy mothership.
Control the behavior of others. And I'm hoping that if we lead by example, we can get this country to a better place.
So what, let me just say, I've been denounced as
So remember, she says she wants to lead by example, but she's not going to stop using disparaging rhetoric against Israelis because she doesn't care about grifting to Israel. She cares about grifting to the anti-Semitic right. Like, it can't, like, dude, you can't fucking say, ew, it's ridiculous that they're saying I'm anti-Semitic. Let me talk with Tucker Carlson, the guy who had on a Holocaust denier. Let me go on to Tucker Carlson's show, who's, famously friends with, he just interviewed Nick Fuentes, who said Hitler was really cool. You can't say these things. You sound completely foolish. I'm not anti-Semitic. I just love talking to anti-Semitic people. All right, come on. Take it away, Anna.
America's most dangerous anti-Semite, no one ever provides a single
That's crazy.
example of me being anti-Semitic because I'm not. And if I was, I guess I'd probably just say so. I just say my views as plainly as I can, and I abhor anti-Semitism. I've always thought that. I've always said that. So there's no, I mean, that's a lie. But I'm interested. I'm not afraid at all. However, I understand that this is an incitement to violence.
Yeah, also, she's talking, I mean, you're right, garlic fries. She's talking about, the consequences of speaking out about Israel is that people think I'm a Jew hater. But she refuses to call out the real consequences of being an American and speaking out against Israel, which is being targeted by our fascist administration. Because if she talks about that, that's going to implicate Tucker Carlson's connections to the MAGA movement, right? Like, you can't ever impugn the MAGA movement when you're trying to grift to the right. So she just completely ignores it. She just says, the Zionists are saying that I'm a Jew hater. And she, like, vaguely implies that it's, like, a Jewish person or it's Israel that's doing it.
Clearly is. It's intentional. They approve of violence. They love what's happening in Gaza. I don't need more evidence. They love violence. They don't consider their opponents fully human.
Talking about yourself and Donald Trump right now, Tucker?
To violence, it clearly is. At that
Place.
So what, let me just say, I've been denounced as America's most dangerous anti-Semite. No one ever provides a single
That's crazy.
example of me being anti-Semitic because I'm not.
That's crazy. That's so fucking funny. Oh my god. Stop. You're such a character, Tucker. Embarrassing, shameless. I need a graphic on my stream. Compress it and it's like grifter alert. Shameless grifting from Anna Kasparian right now. Grifter alert.
And if I was, I guess I'd probably just say so. I just say my views as plainly as I can, and I abhor anti-Semitism. I've always thought that. I've always said that. So there's no, I mean, that's a lie. But I'm interested. I'm not afraid at all. However,
Tucker Carlson literally just said, I abhor anti-Semitism. I've always fought against it. So that's a lie. No. I know what he meant. He's like, I'm not the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. I just platform them. Tucker Carlson, famous non-anti-Semite here.
I understand that this is an incitement to violence. It clearly is. It's intentional. They approve of violence. They love what's happening in Gaza. I don't need more evidence. They love violence. They don't consider their opponents fully human.
Again, like, who the fuck are we talking about? Who the fuck are we? They love Tucker Carlson's like, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Semitic, but the Jews do have a vendetta out against me. Tucker, who's they? Who's they? Bro really just said, no, I'm not anti-Semitic, but they keep smearing me, and we know that they love what's happening in Gaza, so they really love violence. But it's just ridiculous how they're treating me. I'm not anti-Semitic at all. Bro, really, Tucker? Really? You're not anti-Semitic, but they're out to get you.
Human.
And they love violence because of what's happening in Gaza.
So tell me what happened. You said that these slanders provoked violence against you?
Yes. So there are these weird, dark, shadowy organizations. We don't know how they're funded. Some of them we don't even know who's behind them. But one of them is Canary Mission. There's another group called Stop Anti-Semitism. I think there's more information about who's behind that group. And then
I'm pretty sure Stop Anti-Semitism is a single person. You can talk about the ADL. What the fuck, bro? That ball like targeted me down. Talk about the ADL or you can talk about the ADL. You can talk about J Street, which is the liberal ADL. God, fuck off. Wow, that was not good. Stop Anti-Semitism is literally just a Twitter account. And what did she say the first one was? I'm pretty sure that is just like the group that was doxing pro-Palestinian students. That is actually just like a far-right organization out of Israel.
Dark, shadowy organizations. We don't know how they're funded. Some of them we don't even know who's behind them. But one of them is Canary Mission. There's another
Canary Mission, that one.
Group called Stop Anti-Semitism. I think there's more information about who's behind that group. And then there's another group called Jews in School. And so these groups realized that they can't get me fired from my job, right? Cenk Uygur is not going to fire me because of my critique of Israel. So they...
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe if you're trying to make the case that you're not anti-Semitic, don't call these groups that are like Jews in schools and Stop Anti-Semitism dark, shadowy organizations. Like, yes, we know that these organizations get institutional funding, but I don't know, it's a weird way to describe it. Once again, it just reeks of her grifting to conservatives. Like, this is a conservative coded conspiracy theory. There are these dark, shadowy orgs that are all conspiring against me, right? You can just say they're Zionist organizations and leave it at that, but no, it has to be dark, shadowy organizations that just so happen to all be against me, but not anti-Semitic at all.
Instead decided to start attacking my husband, and they're trying to get him fired from his job, even though this is like the most apolitical guy. When I met him, I'm like, oh, are you into news and politics? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, what are you into? Sports. that was it. I'm like, you're perfect for me.
Good husband. I agree. It's
right,
good.
Right.
Tucker Carlson's so weird.
They've been relentless in taking me out of context. And sure enough, one morning as I was walking my dog, a woman who I've actually seen in the neighborhood before, we had never spoken to each other, but, we've passed by one another without incident. She's standing in the middle of the sidewalk, just kind of blocking it, and her dog is going nuts. And she's looking at me with this weird, menacing look on her face. And I'm really not thinking much of it. I'm thinking, oh, that face is probably because of the fact that her dog is losing its mind. She's probably trying to train the dog. No big deal. I literally try to get around her because she's blocking the sidewalk, and I walk into the street. And as I'm doing that, she starts approaching me with her dog, like basically sicking her dog at me and my dog, which is like a little 20-pound dog, mine is. And at that point, I take my headphones out. I'm listening to music. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, you're a Jew hater. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's actually trying to hurt me with her dog. And at that point, I try to reason with her at first.
She walks up, she sees you while walking, her dog walks up to you, and you're like, he's trying to kill me with her animal. No. Holy shit, dude. Anna Kasparian is actually just, I don't know, like, it's like she's never experienced the outside world. She goes on a subway and she sees a homeless person. She's like, oh my god, this is getting ridiculous. I felt so threatened there. She sees someone that comes up to her and is like, you're a Jew. Like, the shadowy cabals are out to get me now. One person comes up to you, we're not even like targeting your house or anything. They just come up to you like while they see you, and then they make a comment. How have you not experienced that more? She gets called, like, in passing, I don't even think she got called this, but she saw someone get called a birthing person in passing, and she has like a years-long meltdown because of it. Grow a fucking spine. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Like, this is an anecdote that you feel worthy to bring onto the Tucker Carlson network? Like, saying that one person walked up to me and is like, hey, you're anti-Semitic, aren't you? But she had a dog, and the dog was, wanted to keep walking. So, but I felt bodily threatened by it. God, give me a fucking break, man. How do you function in society if you're like a person walking up to you with a dog? You're like, oh, they're trying to murder me right now.
I'm like, no, there's a misunderstanding. And she's like screaming at the top of her lungs. And to be honest with you, at that point, I was just like, okay, I'm critical of a foreign country that is currently killing tens of thousands of children. So let me ask you, how many children need to be slaughtered for you to be satisfied?
No, she didn't do this. She did not debate bro. The woman that was apparently screaming at the top of her lungs at Anna Kasparian. Like, do you hear yourself, Anna? Do you hear this anecdote you're saying? So you're, first of all, what are you doing? You're walking around, I guess. You see someone a person stops in the middle of the crosswalk and like cars are beeping at them, just staring at you while you're walking around. Were you stopped in the middle of the crosswalk? Why were they stopped in the middle of the crosswalk if they were staring at you? Then they walk forwards and they're screaming at you at the top of their lungs that you're a Jew hater, and then you just like calmly debate bro them and until they get cowed on your political intellect about the intricacies of Israel and Palestine. Like, what this story is complete bullshit. Yeah, and then everyone started clapping. All of the people got out of their cars and they're like, bravo, bravo, that's our local hero, Anna Kasparian. Like, if someone did come up to her, which I don't doubt someone came up to her, she just kept walking. Like, obviously this was in her head, but yeah, I'm gonna change it to Tucker Carlson where I debate broed the woman that started saying I'm a Jew hater.
Country.
Keep in mind, the woman was screaming at her. Anna Kasparian was also afraid for her life because of the dog that the woman was walking. And she decided to calmly educate her on the topic of Israel and Palestine. Hey, guys, like, you don't have to do that. If someone comes up to you, like if you're at a protest or something, and someone comes up to you and they are in a threatening manner, if someone wants to talk to them for sure. But if they're in a threatening manner at all, or they're screaming at you, disengage. It's not worth getting into a physical altercation, or even just like the emotional toll of screaming back at someone. Like, that is not worth it whatsoever. The best type of street fighting you can do is disengaging. That's going to get you the maximal outcome every single time. So yeah, like, don't take Anna Kasparian's advice on how to deal with crazy Zionists yelling in your face.
That is currently killing tens of thousands of children. So let me ask you, how many...
She has it on video? No way. She does have it on video? She kept screaming over and over, she sicked her dog on me. Wait. So outside, Anna Kasparian was screaming she sicked her dog on me? I'm so confused. She definitely got extra scared by it compared to what it was, though. I think she had some PTSD. Okay, we need to look this up now. Wait, so did she debate bro her? Anna Kasparian. What should I type? I don't want to type assault video. Confronted in public. Targeted while walking her dog.
This morning, as I was walking my dog, as I always do early in the morning, all of a sudden I was confronted by someone. Tried to stick her dog at me and Charlie and pay very close attention to her treatment of her own dog.
Just saying, like, how has this not happened more? There are all of these shadowy cabals after you. How has this not happened more often?
How her dog is behaving and what she's saying.
Do you think it was appropriate for you to try to sick your dog on me?
I did not.
Do you think that was a...
So Anna Kasparian walked back to the woman to record the video. Alright, hold on. We're gonna have to full screen this. So this wasn't the original confrontation. Anna pulled out her phone and went back to the. She tracked the woman back down to confront her again. Okay, who's confronting who then?
Appropriate to stick your dog at me? You sticked your dog at me.
I told you to stay away from me because my dog is barking.
That dog's like 20 pounds. It's that dog? Girl, the dog looks like a joke. It literally has a fucking joke haircut. Did she sick her dog on her?
Was that appropriate? Was it appropriate for you? Okay. Was it
Get away
appropriate?
from me.
Look at
Dude, the woman is recording Anna, and the woman saying, I told you to get away from me. That's like the first thing that the woman said. Why would you record? Why would you post this, Anna? You got assaulted, apparently, and then you go back to the woman, and you're like, did you sick your dog on me? And the woman's like, get the fuck away from me. What are you doing? I told you to get away from me. I'm trying to walk my dog. Dude, this dog looks terrified. Look at the dog's face right now. Oh, the dog is actually just like extremely stressed out. It's not aggressive whatsoever. It's just like, can we get away from this crazy lady, please, mom? Like, I just wanted to take my morning piss on my favorite tree, but like, this is not fun for me anymore. Can I go home? The woman's literally said to Anna, I told you to get away from me. Why would you post this, Anna? Maybe maybe okay, no, we need to watch his whole thing.
Do you think that was appropriate?
Charlie, I want to have an image of her. I want to have a video of her. I want to have a video of her dog. And so get a load of her.
Want to have a video of her dog? She wants to dox the dog? The dog didn't do anything.
So I'm trying to get Charlie home. I call Christian. I tell him what happened.
All right, I'm in now. I'm invested in this.
Other than them, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, can I do this? Can I talk? Can I say anything?
Your existence is a
So,
trope.
no,
Perfect.
but Larry Ellison,
Perfect jump cut into Jank just going, what is it? What's the mode that we said Jank goes into? Baby mode? Where he's like, perfect jump cut into that.
he's an evil guy who is taking over all of this media for propaganda for Israel, but you're not allowed to rub your hands about it. You're not allowed to talk about it.
Okay.
They say we're taking over media, but you're not allowed to
Not allowed to rub your hands about it?
say they're taking over media. So they're allowed to do it, but you're not allowed to say it. No, I don't listen to any of your stupid rules or tropes. All right, anyway, back to your story.
So
Is he referring to like doing the rub your hands together, like the anti-Semitic caricature of a Jewish person rubbing their hands together? Is that what he's talking about? What the hell does he mean? You're not allowed to rub your hands together about Israeli media. Holy fuck.
So before we get to Canary Mission and the propaganda they put out there in order to get people to target me like this, after she attempts to attack me with her dog, the only thing I have on the top of my mind is I need to get my dog to safety because I have a small dog, okay? He's 20 pounds. So
Girl, the dog that you were talking about was 20 pounds. The dog you were witnessing in your video was 20 pounds.
as I'm walking away, she says to me, good luck to your husband dealing with you. And I say, my husband loves me. And she responds with, that's why we're trying to get him fired.
Bro, you can't say how you got roasted by a random woman in a crosswalk battle. You're just posting your L's right now. Is it good luck to your husband dealing with you? And you have the gall to show your face after that? That's a brutal bird. Also, you can't say that there's a campaign to get my husband fired because one woman said it to you on the street. I need more evidence than that.
To me, that was the sign that this isn't some lone wolf situation. She's part of an organized group.
Remember when Anna Kasparian literally just said, like, I'm sorry for accusing this person of working for Russia, being paid by Russia with zero evidence. And now she's like, this woman, this random woman that I saw, is part of an organization because she said, we're trying to get him fired. And I'm like, that must indicate that there's a shadowy cabal of suburbanite dog walkers that just like fucking hate me. Oh my god. That's your evidence? Yeah, I thought there were like more in-depth campaigns against you that you had information on that you could bring out on your Tucker Carlson interview, but you're just saying that your evidence stems from a woman who got into a yelling match with you? And she just said some like random shit and you're like, wow, there really is a conspiracy against me right now. Because she said some random shit while she was mad? Hey, Anna.
That's not just attempting to destroy me, but destroy my husband's livelihood when my husband has nothing to do with my career, nothing to do with, guy doesn't even like politics. Okay, he works in athletics, he works at a school, he loves his students love him, but they want to destroy him because he
There's a shadowy cabal trying to fire my husband, so I'm gonna tell you where he works right now.
refused to put out a statement condemning his wife. Incessantly they demand that he put out his—
Bro, do you seriously take do you take this seriously? You're like, these people are trying to get my husband fired because he refuses to put out a statement that condemns his wife. Are you fucking serious right now? Like, I know that there's serious repercussions for speaking out against Palestine, but to go on this whole rant saying that there's like these shadowy organizations out to get you when there's real repercussions that people are facing for speaking out against Palestine, like getting your diploma withheld, by getting blacklisted from being hired by companies, like, I don't know, man. It's very privileged, obviously, from Anna here, and it's also, it seems to be a little bit like unself-aware at the same time. Like, it's one person that said that to you, and you're making this whole rant based off of that. If you're going to make that claim, maybe have a bit more evidence. Okay, but let's continue. Let's let her take it into the video.
Condemning his wife. He's not going to do that. Okay? You're not going to get in between a marriage because your feelings are hurt over my criticism of a foreign government. Now, she said that and I was like, I got to call Christian. So, I'm trying to get Charlie home. I call Christian, I tell him what happened. Leave Charlie, drop him off at home. Christian and I go downstairs because he wants to see who is this woman, right? So at that point, we approach her and I decide I'm gonna file a police report and I don't know this woman's name. I wanna have an image of her, I wanna have a video of her, I wanna have a video of her dog. And so get a load of her behavior here where all of a sudden, now that I'm recording, she's pretending like she's the victim when she's the one who tried to sick her dog at me and Charlie, and pay very close attention to her treatment of her own dog, how her dog is behaving and what she's saying. Do you think it was appropriate for you to try to sick your dog on me?
I did not.
Do you think that was appropriate to sick your dog at me? You sicked your dog at me.
I told you to stay away from me because my dog is barking.
Was that appropriate? Was it appropriate for you?
Okay. Was it get away from me?
Look at
Dude, can I talk to you?
No. Why did you try to sick your dog at me?
I told you to get—
She really is trying to put a wedge between Anna and her husband. What's his name? Travis or whatever? You can get the fuck.
Because
away
you don't like
from
my
me.
political view?
I told you to get like this.
Psycho.
I told you to stop
Totally insane.
following me.
Now you're acting different because you're being
I told you to
recorded,
get
right?
away from me. I told you to get away from me. I told you my dog is barking.
Why did you
I
try to
said
sick your
stop
dog?
stalking me.
Why did
I
you
said
try
stop
to sick
yelling
your
at
dog
me.
at me? Why did you sick your dog at me?
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 you.
Oh, now you're a victim after you tried to sick your dog at me and my dog.
She's come back and attacked
No, no,
me.
no, no. You'd say you called her a Jew hater.
You called me a Jew hater? You called me a Jew hater.
Don't pretend like it's anything more than this woman just insulting Anna, right? I mean, yeah, she called her a Jew hater. She sicked her dog on her, please.
And pay close attention to what she says here. Watch.
Wait.
Go
So
ahead.
you're trying to get me fired?
No, I did not. I said I'm telling everybody about her.
Oh, that's what she just said. You trying?
You said that you're trying to get my husband fired.
Everybody's trying to get him fired.
Exactly. Yeah, you're part of that. Everybody.
Be careful. That woman's dangerous. She tried to sick that dog at me. She tried to sick that dog at me and my dog. That's what she tried to do. That's what she tried to do. She tried to sick her dog at me and my dog because she doesn't like my political views, because I don't like a genocidal government.
So in the middle of that, you hear her.
She's just having a public meltdown. How the fuck is Anna Kasparian less hinged than the crazy Zionist that sees her and is like, you're a Jew hater in public? Like, how the fuck is Anna Kasparian the weirdo when she's compared to a suburban Zionist that feels like she can scream at people and call them Jew haters? Holy shit, Anna. She's like, careful, that woman's dog is a menace. She tried to sick it on me. While the other woman was literally bending down and petting the dog. Like, you can't say the dog was a menace to you and it should be a menace to other people in the neighborhood when it's literally being pet by someone else. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Do we have any other things? Oh, outfit change here? Outfit change? I don't know. This is not a good look, I have to say. It's not a good look. Welcome to the hive mind. Oh, the left celebrated Charlie Kirk's death and they don't mind getting in your face to scream their point. What? You're saying that this woman is a leftist? I bought the BS that there were a bunch of left-wing rabid crazy. Perhaps I haven't watched enough, but so far they seem to me to be America first normal people. I won't agree with everything, but as long as they keep rooting for America first, then they have my subscription. Alright, well, I mean, rift achieved, I guess. Like, I think this is pretty good. I think this is pretty good evidence. DYT likes the wokeness, now suffer the consequences. DYT is a bunch of far left terrorists that hate what the USA, like, they are literally just appealing to the anti-Semites, right? That's what, like, they're appealing to Candace Owens fans. That's who they're getting to watch their videos right now. Anna, these people live in a state of paranoia. They still believe they are the chosen people. We're all of God's children. Oh my. It's literally just like Christian anti-Semites. That's who their audience is right now. What the fuck? Fuck this up. And if possible, find out what the woman is working for. Hint, it could be another country that starts with I. Then find out if she's a registered foreign agent. If not, she could be involved in espionage against the United States. Just trying to be helpful here. I'm also wondering if Ben Shapiro, Jonathan Greenblatt, and Mark Levin are registered as foreign agents. Bro, she literally has people like doing Jew roundups in the comment sections of her videos. The Jews, that's what Jesus always said. He always complained about the Jews. What? Whoa. I mean, actually, this would actually shock me. The Jews, that's what Jesus always said. He always complained about the Jews. Read the Bible. He never had anything good to say about the Jews. So it's not about Israel, it's about the Jews. Who is behind this? Well, Voltaire said, if you want to know who controls you, find out who you are not allowed to criticize. Holy fuck, it's literally just littered with anti-Semites. We saw one person call out Zionists, which that woman undoubtedly is. She's a Zionist. She is not an Israeli foreign agent. She's an American. She's not a member, like she's not the Jews, a cabal. She's an American Zionist. And if you are an American Zionist, if we're just picking one out of all of the American Zionists, you're going to be Christian. there are way more Christian American Zionists than there are Jewish American Zionists. So it's absolutely anti-Semitic to see an American Zionist and be like, they're Jewish. That's anti-Semitic. That is what I strive to fight against. It's the main reason why I cover Ethan Klein so much, because he insists on drawing the comparison between Zionists in America and Jews in America. He insists that these are one and the same thing. It's a Venn diagram of a single circle. And the Jews that are not Zionists are capos and self-hating Jews, according to Ethan Klein and according to Anna Kasparian. You see Ethan Klein say that Jews are equal to Zionists when, from the perspective of that's a good thing for Jews and Jews are right for doing that. And you see Anna Kasparian say that Jews are equal to Zionists from the perspective of that's a bad thing and Jews are bad for just in general, I guess. Like, our audience is literally all fucking conservative Nazis right now. What the fuck? All right, Anna Kasparian and the TYT grift is completed. I think I can put the stamp on it. They have successfully co-opted the side of MAGA that has been anti-Israel and anti-Semitic, and they have also successfully differentiated themselves from the left, where now you see a Zionist, who's probably a conservative, yelling at Anna Kasparian about her politics about Palestine. And who does that appeal to? It appeals to anti-Semites because they're just calling her a Jew, and then they're also calling her a leftist. So it also appeals to conservatives. Like, when Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian are calling this person a woke leftist because she's yelling about Jew hating, rather than properly identifying her as a Zionist who is cynically using claims of anti-Semitism to uphold a fascist ethno-state that is using anti-Semitism as a shield for its illegal actions, what you get is anti-Semitic conservatives being like, that's a Jew that's woke. It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, and it's crazy to me that you can just see this channel changing in real time. I mean, I knew they were pivoting for a long time, but it's honestly kind of sad to see that. It's really sad to see that this is like they've completed their evolution. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that the revolution is complete right now? Like, she's interviewing Tucker Carlson and retweeting his posts. She's like retweeting Tucker Carlson. She's just defending a straight up anti-Semite Nazi freak on Twitter. A woman who's like, I trusted Jews because I had a Jew in my life and I trusted her because I didn't want to appear as anti-Semitic. But then she betrayed me, and she and a bunch of other Jews all conspired to ruin my life, and so now I've learned my lesson. And you have Anna Kasparian defending this woman of accusations of being anti-Semitic. She's like, you're not anti-Semitic, you're just speaking the truth. It's so gross. No. They've fully embraced the Candace Owens fans. I mean, we can keep reading comments on here. You're like, you have an interesting mix of like leftists still watching them, but then random conservatives that show up. Personal drama is not always newsworthy. Kind of a bad look. Like, you still have people that are holding on a little bit, but you have a lot of people that are showing up that are like, yeah, fuck the Jews, fuck the leftists. Look at this. I am moving to the pro-Jew hate side of the political equation. Western democracy is completely hijacked by thugs. I always wanted to go to Israel, but after those people took power, I guess I can never. What a shame. The Jews in America, Ellison and all, will end up in American gas chamber. Dude, what the fuck? Do you not have mods on your channel? The Jews in America, Ellison and all, will end up in American gas chambers. Do you think the Christian right will tolerate you walking around like King Solomon while they eat dog food? Like, this is disgusting. This is actually just like indistinguishable from Twitter. Like, their comment section is just full of anti-Semitism. It's just like, dude, she's making a video where she gets outraged that someone calls her a Jew hater, and then you go into the comment section of her video, and it's all full of Jew hate. Literally a comment saying that that the Jews in America are gonna go into gas chambers. What the fuck? The majority of Jews in Israel are lunatics. Why? Probably because Israel is populated by Holocaust survivors in 1948. Now, a couple of generations later, after indoctrinating their offspring with hate, we're at this point in time. Dude, it's the Holocaust survivors that are against the genocide. It's the people that remember the Holocaust that are against the genocide. Jew is a great weapon for those evils and their agenda. That's why they always use Jew or anti-Semitic for protection. Because Israel doesn't have any power to protect them, especially nowadays. People are sick of that genocide country. Okay, well, this is actually true, but the person's like wrote it in a crazy way. Anyway, the fucking insane that I mean, it's insane that they've completed the revolution into just becoming another like mega anti-left, anti-Jew channel. That's what they're doing, and just sidling up, sucking off just known anti-Semites like Tucker Carlson, and inviting their anti-Semitic audience to come right on in. Yeah, and that's true. Israel wasn't populated by survivors of the Holocaust.
Children need to be slaughtered for you to be satisfied. And at that point, like, her dog's still going nuts, and I realize, okay, it's stupid for me to keep standing here. Okay, I'm critical. There's trying to hurt me with her dog, and at that point, I try to reason.
It's like a fucking 25-pound poodle. Get over yourself. You were so afraid of being hurt by her dog that you went back to record it. And before you even disengaged from the situation, you claimed in this interview with Tucker that you tried to debate bro her into being on your side.
With her at first. I'm like, no, there's a misunderstanding. And she's like screaming at the top of her lungs. And to be honest with you, at that point, I was just like, okay, I'm critical of a foreign country that is currently killing tens of thousands of children. So let me ask you, how many children need to be slaughtered for you to be satisfied?
Oh, burn.
And at that point, like, her dog's still going nuts, and I realize, okay, it's stupid for me to keep standing here. I'm going to get my dog to safety. And as I'm walking away from her, she utters, "Good luck to your husband dealing with you." And I was like, my husband loves me. And her response to that is, that's why we're trying to get him fired.
I also wonder, did that woman strike a nerve with Anna Kasparian and her relationship with her husband? Because look, I'm not saying that there are any issues, but she has self-reaffirmed about the good quality of their relationship multiple times in both retellings of this story. And I don't know, I feel like if someone was like, and good luck dealing with your, I feel sorry for your wife for dealing with you, I'd just, like, I'm not married, but if I was and I was happy in my relationship, I'd just laugh it off and be like, okay, like I want to be like, well, my wife loves me, so that's a ridiculous thing that you'd say. Just like, go get on with your day. If it didn't bother you, then why would you be insistent on proving her wrong? Which she did, because she brought her husband back to talk with the woman. My husband loves me, and here's the proof. He's gonna come with me when we record you.
Which told me that she's basically part of an organized group that's trying to destroy my life because I'm critical of Israel.
Yeah.
And so I am smart enough to understand that it is stupid to conflate people like this with the entire Jewish population. I will never let these people win and turn me into an anti-Semite. Ever, ever, ever.
Amen. I
My
agree.
Oh, Anna, you already are. Look at your content that you're putting out there. It doesn't matter whether you know it in your heart or not. Your content appeals to anti-Semites, and that means that it's bad. It's bad content. You can be internally, the most egalitarian person ever, but if your content is effectively anti-Semitic content, then you're an anti-Semite. So I don't know. I don't know if that's not something that's going to make you happy, or if it's going to make you feel sad about yourself. But yeah, you gotta be a little bit more critical of the output of your content, and that's why I'm covering you right now. Because that tweet I saw of yours was really concerning about you just saying that someone who's saying the Jews in her life were trying to ruin her life. And Anna's like, you're not anti-Semitic. Don't let the people that are trying to stop you from talking quiet you. Speak your voice and be strong. And she's literally just an anti-Semitic, like, Christian fundamentalist. That's a concerning tweet. This interview with Tucker Carlson is concerning. Your videos on TYT about the Jews that are harassing you on the street, that's concerning as well. That's why I'm covering you, because I feel like you are doing bad shit that needs to be covered. Like, be cognizant of the output of your
she's my sister.
content.
I love her. She's Jewish. I go to Passover Seder with her.
I have Jewish friends. Don't worry, I'm not anti-Semitic. I have Jewish friends.
Entire Jewish population. I will never let these people win and turn me into an anti-Semite.
Turn me into an anti-Semite. Like, I don't know, that's pretty weird. Pretty weird. If someone, like, sure, I don't get a lot of attention on the internet, and I'm totally fine with that. But if I was getting more attention and people were like, he's anti-Semitic, I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to let you turn me into an anti-Semite. I love the Jews. I'd be like, no, I'm not anti-Semitic because I don't criticize Jewish people. I criticize Zionists, and the vast majority of Zionists are not Jews. But I don't know, it's a little funny to be like, I'm not going to let you turn me into an anti-Semite. Kind of reminiscent of last week when we were watching the H3 podcast, and Zach saw a few Holocaust deniers leaving comments on Instagram, and he's like, I don't know, this is making me crazy. Like, maybe the Holocaust didn't happen. And Ethan has to be like, no, dude, the Holocaust happened. Don't worry. You're okay. And is like, wait a second. Maybe I am anti-Semitic. People are calling me that a lot. Not gonna let it turn me, though. I'm not gonna let it turn me. Like, wait, does she have the one ring of anti-Semitism that she's carrying to Tucker Carlson's Volcano Manor that he lives in? She has to chuck it in there. He's like, this is the burden of anti-Semitism that I'm going to discard from myself. I'm not gonna let it turn me. And then when she has the final moment when she needs to throw the anti-Semitism into the volcano pit, she's like, no, I won't do it. I am anti-Semitic. She just fully embraces it.
Ever, ever, ever.
Amen. I agree.
Absolute best friend from high school. She's my sister. I love her. She's Jewish. I go to Passover Seder with her. It's ridiculous to just go around smearing people. But here's what I will say. This type of behavior is exactly what leads to anti-Semitism.
Yes.
Because if people feel like they're being targeted like this, if people...
Bro, you can't say that shit. You can't say, I'm not anti-Semitic, I just attract an anti-Semitic audience. But this behavior would make me anti-Semitic. Like, you're making it real easy for me to be anti-Semitic right now. Dude, being called a Jew hater should not make you anti-Semitic if you're not. Like, being called a racist shouldn't make you racist if you're not racist. There's nothing about that would make you racist. Like, I don't know it's impossible to come up with a list of all of the different environmental factors that blend together to make someone racist. But I'm pretty sure calling them racist isn't one of it. Especially if you've examined your worldview and you're like, I'm not racist. I understand that there's there's differences in some ethnicities, and that has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with like environmental factors and socioeconomic factors. And the way that some people are treated. Sometimes the differences in races is due to racism. A lot of the times it is. It's like, oh, you're racist. Oh, maybe I am racist. Come on, Anna, you can't say being called a Jew hater is what makes people hate Jews. But don't worry, I refuse to let it make me hate Jews. It sounds like you're thinking about it. So sounds like you're bouncing that thought around in your brain a little bit. Like it hasn't taken hold of me yet. Sounds like you're dealing with some inner Jew-hating demons right now. Like I did not, dude. I came into this. I'm like, Anna Kasparian's not anti-Semitic. She just is a little bit careless in her language, and she's careless in her defense of actual anti-Semitic people because she's probably just overly touchy about being called anti-Semitic, even though she's just anti-Israel. I'm coming out of this, I'm like, maybe she is anti-Semitic. Maybe she actually is anti-Semitic, or at least a blossoming anti-Semite. Don't worry, guys. I won't let the people that call me a Jew hater make me hate Jews, even though it would make a normal person hate Jews. Like, dude, this is sorry. I just reread The Lord of the Rings. This is literally like the ring turning people evil. Like being called an anti-Semite turns people into anti-Semites, according to Anna Kasparian. But she's the one. She's the chosen one who can bear the burden and not let it turn her. Although, at the moment of truth, maybe she will be turned.
Part of an organized group that's trying to destroy my life because I'm critical of Israel.
Yeah.
And so I am smart enough to understand that it is stupid to conflate people like this with the entire Jewish population. I will never let these people win and turn me into an anti-Semite. Ever, ever, ever.
Amen. I agree.
Absolute best friend from high school. She's my sister. I love her. She's Jewish. I go to Passover Seder with her. It's ridiculous to just go around smearing people. But here's what I will say. This type of behavior is exactly what leads to anti-Semitism.
Yes.
Because if people feel like they're being targeted like this, if people feel like there's a group of people that's trying to destroy their lives, their livelihoods, make sure that they end up out on the streets with nothing, I mean, what do you think that inspires in people's hearts?
Anna, you can't do this, Anna. You can't do this. You're talking about yourself right now. Like, you can't talk about yourself, but just say when people feel this way. So let's just break this down. Earlier in the interview, she said she is being targeted by a shadowy cabal of organizations and big money groups have all come together to ruin her life, right? And she's like, oh, but I'm not going to let these people that call me Jew haters turn me into an anti-Semite. Then she goes on to say, but being targeted by groups of people, feeling like you're being targeted by a group of people, by Jews, would turn you into an anti-Semite. You're just describing how you're like, I'm feeling anti-Semitic, but I'm not ready to call myself anti-Semitic yet. But I'm feeling it. It's like when you're warming up before a fight. You're like, yeah, all right, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's just under the surface, but it can bubble out at any time. Tucker, I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. In another few months, you can invite me on and we can have a conversation about how Christ is king on your podcast next time. Because she's just going to become a a Christian fundamentalist? Is that where this is all going?
Anger, rage, hatred. Make sure that they end up out on the streets with nothing to destroy their people is exactly
Because she's trying to make this into some kind of commentary on a sociological phenomena, but it's literally just about herself. People aren't being targeted by shadowy organizations. Like, we have clear and concise examples of how people are being targeted. It's the administration's not letting them immigrate here. The administration's rejecting their green cards, their student visas. Corporations are making blacklists. Like Paramount just put together a blacklist of actors who they don't want to work with anymore because those actors have spoken out against Israel. These are not shadowy organizations conspiring to like ruin someone's life. We have clear, concise examples of them. We know who's running them. We know who they're getting funded by. We know what their incentive powers are. The only reason that you're not saying this is because you want to give it this veneer of conspiracy theory, which is what Tucker Carlson and the conservatives eat up all the time. Like what Tucker Carlson's audience eats up.
what leads to anti-Semitism.
Yes.
Because if people feel like they're being targeted like this, if people feel like there's a group of people that's trying to destroy their lives, their livelihoods, make sure that they end up out on the streets with nothing, I mean, what do you think that inspires in people's hearts? Anger, rage.
Also, Anna, like a true fucking, like the people that have actually negative repercussions for speaking out against Israel, they're not sitting there being like, this is inspiring Jew hatred in me. They're pretty clearly being like, I'm not going to be silenced in talking about Palestine. Like of so many different students that were deported, detained, their green cards revoked, their green cards rejected, or their student visas rejected because of because of their positions. And they're not like, oh yeah, I hate Jews. It's like, yes, there is a Zionist government right now, and I'm going to do my best to still stand up in favor of Palestine. I know, weird stuff from Anna.
Hatred. You know, Barry Weiss just interviewed Senator John Fetterman and asked, like, oh, what, you know, why do you think there's this rise in anti-Semitism? It's the social media platforms, you know, it's the algorithms. How could they do this? No, Barry, we keep seeing children slaughtered. And guess what? Americans don't like that. How about stop slaughtering the children? And this issue that you're, you know, fired up about might actually calm down a little bit. But they just don't get it because they think that Israel is entitled to doing what it's doing. And I disagree.
So Israel's causing
and I don't think that I should be
So Israel's causing the anti-Semitism because, you know, she's not saying Israel's causing the anti-Semitism because it's equating itself with Jewish people. She's just pretty clearly saying Israel's causing anti-Semitism and people are right to call it to be inspired to anti-Semitism because of what Israel's doing. Like, really? You're not going to distinguish that Jews are not the same as Israelis and the actions of Israel should not be... like, take this opportunity to say that. I think it's important to spell that out when you're talking to Tucker Carlson. But no, you're not going to say that, like, you shouldn't treat Jews as though they're responsible for the actions of Israel. You're not going to say that Jews are not the same as Israelis and as the government of Israel.
Required to pay for it or denounced as a Nazi. But it's interesting.
Feel like
you're just going to be like, well, yeah, anti-Semitism's happening because people hate Israel. And Israel needs to stop doing its genocide so that people stop being anti-Semitic.
There's a group of people that's trying to destroy their lives, their livelihoods, make sure that they end up out on the streets with nothing. I mean, what do you think that inspires in people's hearts? Anger, rage, hatred. You know, Barry Weiss just interviewed Senator John Fetterman and asked, like, oh, what, why do you think there's this rise in anti-Semitism? It's the social media platforms, it's the algorithms. How could they do this? No, Barry, we keep seeing children slaughtered. And guess what? Americans don't like that. How about stop slaughtering the children? And this issue that you're, fired up about might actually calm down a little bit.
Also, you could spend a breath to say that the criticism of Israel is not anti-Semitism, but you're not going to do that. You're just going to be like, yeah, actually criticism of Israel is anti-Semitism. Just give in to the framing of Barry Weiss.
But they just don't get it because they think that Israel is entitled to doing what it's doing, and I disagree.
Yeah, and I don't think that I should be required to pay for it or denounced as a Nazi. But it's interesting and very distressing to me, since I spent my whole life on the right, whatever that is. I'm beginning to ask, what is that exactly? But I thought that one of the pillars of non-liberal thought, one of the main reasons Trump got elected last November, was because we on the right are opposed to censorship. And I sincerely am on the deepest level. Like, I would never submit to that under any circumstances, because I think it's the thing that separates the free from the enslaved. If you're free, you can't tell me what to think or say, period. And of course, it's the most American of all values. So I thought that that was a sacrosanct principle, and that it would never be violated by anyone. We can disagree, but like, you could never try to prevent me from saying it. And I wake up, and maybe I just missed this. I didn't know this. All of a sudden, everybody I know, Barry Weiss and that creepy guy from the Babylon Bee, and all these people, it turns out like they spend all day thinking about how to prevent other people from talking and working to prevent other people from talking.
Notice how they're only naming Jews, by the way.
Barry Weiss is at the top of that list. Here's a media executive, the head of CBS News, whose real interest is imposing censorship on the country on behalf of another country. I don't know, does that shock you, or maybe I'm just too naive? I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, you're a little bit naive. So I did see it coming.
I think I am. I agree.
Because the truth is, there are very few people who are sincere in wanting to protect free speech. Because as soon as there is speech that offends their sensibilities, all of a sudden they're not in favor of protecting free speech.
Is she going to talk about Donald Trump right now? Because they named a lot of people that are in the conservative aisle of the party Jews, right? But they didn't name Donald Trump, even though he is a huge advocate against the freedom of speech. I mean, we didn't get to it today, but he is literally calling for the execution of Democrats because they said don't break the law, and he's like they're doing sedition and they should be executed. That's literally what he said today, and we're just not going to mention that at all. Okay. Take it away, Anna.
Matters the most when you are hearing speech you dislike.
Yes.
Because you have to think about how wanting to censor people who are engaged in rhetoric you don't like is definitely going to come back around to you. And, as someone who has been on the left for most of my adult life, right, I remember thinking to myself, for all the people on the left who are like hell-bent on engaging in censorship, do you guys understand history? Do you know how this is going to work out for you if you keep engaging like this? And so I just think that what's particularly gross about what's happening in this current...
Who on the left is in favor of engaging in censorship that she's talking about? God.
Moment is that the censorship has to do with speech that is critical of a foreign country.
That's right.
And that's unacceptable. Okay, it's unacceptable. We are able to be as critical as we want of our own government, which should also be protected, obviously. But the idea that... the other thing I want to just quickly say, I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but I have to get this out. Ahmed al-Shara playing basketball with members of our military in the United States White House on U.S. soil, okay, a so-called former al-Qaeda terrorist visiting New York City for the UN General Assembly is such an insult to the American people. Unacceptable. So while you have the Mark Levins and people like him constantly defaming people at...
Once again, it's literally all Jews that they're naming. Fuck, I missed it. Sorry guys, I actually got to the second level of this boss fight. We might have to just finish this off. Oh, my beloved. Here, let's just. This isn't getting intense. Beloved.
Will be countless born forever and ever.
Ooh. I'm gonna lose here, though.
Upon my name as Rani the Witch. Mother's rich slumber shall not be disturbed by thee.
What?
Foul trespasser. Send word far and wide. Of the last queen of Caria, Renala of the full moon.
Oh, she's asleep.
And the majesty of the night she conjureth.
Oh no, she just had her eyes closed. I thought she's doing sleepwalking. That'd be okay. Fuck. Oh my god. Alright, how do I win against this person? Oh, doesn't have that much HP. Oh my god, fuck. Looks dangerous. What? God. Oh, I fucked that up. Alright, I'll probably be able to beat that. Okay, let's finish this Tucker Carlson thing.
As jihadists, Islamists, terrorists. Hey, you got any word about al-Shara cozying up to the Trump administration? Are we okay with that? Oh, he doesn't like Hezbollah. Okay, so I guess he's our ally because he doesn't like Hezbollah. It's just disgusting how much our government, again, regardless of which administration we're talking about. I mean,
God damn, bro. You can't even criticize Donald Trump without saying, oh, regardless of which administration we're talking about. Literally just like insane obfuscation about who she's actually criticizing. Remember, she's like, we just have to keep in mind that our government doesn't care about taking care of us. And then she's like, oh, it's crazy that the government allows this to happen. The government? Donald Trump is doing all but sucking his cock in front of the cameras. Like, what are we talking about here? The government. Oh, it doesn't matter which administration is doing it. Have a fucking spine, dude. You had a lot of spine when you had your husband backing you up when you were harassing that woman walking your poodle.
the Biden administration probably would have done the same thing, to be honest with you, right? And it's just sick to me that all of a sudden...
Oh, the Biden administration probably would have done the same thing, to be honest with you. God damn, Anna. God damn, this is shameless. This is a shameless display. Paid partnerships with 8 Sleep. Okay, $700 off. Never forget this classic.
Stuck in an elevator with him, you'd have to obviously kill yourself because you couldn't handle him. Like Mark Levin, you know, someone if you were stuck in an elevator with him, you'd...
The real battle of, okay, this is the second comment. The real battle of understanding the history we're taught is propaganda. It's just pro-Nazi stuff. Dude, your real battle is not to become Nick Fuentes. You're losing. For fuck's sake, the battle is with the left. Mark Levin is a lot more credible than you'll ever be. Okay.
To each other, but you know, we've passed by one another without
free from the enslaved. If you're free, you can't tell me what to think or say, period. And of course, it's the most American of all values. So I thought that was
in wanting to protect free speech. Because as soon as jihadists, Islamists, terrorists, hey, you got any word about al-Shara cozying up to the Trump administration? Are we okay with that? Oh, he doesn't like Hezbollah. Okay, so I guess he's our ally because he doesn't like Hezbollah. It's just disgusting how much our government, again, regardless of which administration we're talking about, I mean, the Biden administration probably would have done the same thing, to be honest with you, right? And it's just sick to me.
I think I think that's a clip of her literally swallowing her pride. We have to run that back in regular speed.
Unacceptable. So while you have the Mark Levins and people like him constantly defaming people as jihadists, Islamists, terrorists, hey, you got any word about al-Shara cozying up to the Trump administration? Are we okay with that? Oh, he doesn't like Hezbollah. Okay, so I guess he's our...
She literally swallows her pride before she said the Biden administration probably would have done that too.
Ally, because...
Which we know is a lie. Like Biden, he's the fucking like crustiest dinosaur politician that there is. The guy is allergic to change in the foreign affairs aspect of his governance. It's just like, we cannot do a single thing in terms of foreign affairs. No, Joe Biden is the crustiest man there is when it comes to foreign affairs. You definitely would not have done that.
Because he doesn't like Hezbollah. It's just disgusting how much our government, again, regardless of which administration we're talking about, I mean, the Biden administration
literally
probably would have done the same thing,
pride.
to be honest with you, right? And
literally this is the exact moment where she swallows her pride.
The Biden administration probably would have done the same thing, to be honest with you, right?
The Democrats are just the Democrats. They're bad too. You know, she just, every time she criticizes Trump, has to also criticize the Democrats, because she can't make herself seem like she's too much of a leftist because she needs those audience members.
And it's just sick to me that all of a sudden, actual terrorism, the terrorism that took out thousands of our own people and ended up dragging us into lengthy wars in the Middle East that killed more of our soldiers and tons of innocent civilians, by the way. That's okay. We're just going to forget about that. We're going to wipe the slate clean because this al-Qaeda terrorist doesn't like Hezbollah and is good for Israel. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Well, and the irony is...
I really want to get that out.
The irony... No, and I'm so glad you said that. I mean, it raises a lot of questions about 9/11, by the way. I was told that al-Qaeda did 9/11 and killed 3,000 Americans. And I spent 20 years adjusting my life accordingly and covering all this nonsense around the world and really believing that. So if that's true, how do we have an al-Qaeda leader playing basketball with American servicemen? A. B, I was also told that, the Arab countries are the problem, right? So I happen to be in an Arab country with, well-connected people in that country, people who run that country, the day that Assad landed in Moscow and this character took over Syria. And I just happened to be there. So I asked, who is this guy? And they were, their instinct was, this is bad. This guy's like a jihadi. He's a radical. They hate the jihadis, by the way, the leaders of prosperous Arab countries, probably all Arab countries, because they're a threat to them. So they really don't like Islamists.
She's acting like the Hezbollah and Al-Qaeda are the ones that dragged us into the war. They're the ones that caused the deaths of hundreds of thousands of civilians and killed our soldiers. But it was the United States that did it.
I'm sorry, Mark Levin, who I don't think has ever traveled outside our borders, but that's just a fact. And they were very wary of this guy, extremely wary of him and bothered by the whole thing. And they understood that it was Turkey and Israel that did this, of course, and for their own ends. But they didn't like this guy. They thought he was too dirty. And then so to see him now celebrated at the White House, it's like, okay, so let's talk about 9/11 again. What was that? Did that evoke those questions in your mind?
Absolutely. But Tucker, I'm the bad guy because I acknowledged FBI files that detailed the so-called dancing Israelis. Okay, I'm the bad guy. But having
why is that bad? Why is that bad to have if you arrest foreigners on your soil for celebrating the biggest terror attack in your history? Why are you the criminal for just pointing that out?
Well, because they were Israelis, of course.
Oh, okay.
It's that simple. If they were, let's let's just be honest here. If the individuals who were arrested that day weren't Israeli and were instead, let's say, Lebanese or Syrian or anything else, it wouldn't be controversial to talk about that. In fact, you would be encouraged to talk about that. And so it's just the whole thing is sick, because I was in high school when 9/11 happened. So I remember what America was like prior to 9/11. 9/11 crushed this country.
Yes.
9/11 convinced Americans to give some of their civil liberties away to our federal government in the name of national security. 9/11 encouraged the United States to go to the Middle East and engage in wars that we should not have engaged in, especially Iraq. And it hasn't ended since then. I mean, 9/11 is what persuaded the American people that it was a good idea to go into debt in order to fight these wars. We had an economic surplus.
It wasn't 9/11 that did it. It was Bush. Come on, like it didn't happen in a vacuum. It was politicians that wanted to start a war in order to like get revenge, assert dominance, act like a bully again. Damn, there's a giant turtle. That's sweet. Talk to you
in the
later.
beginning of the Bush administration. We are now drowning in federal debt. $38 trillion. It's getting worse every single year. And just to go back to what you said about Ben Shapiro, he and I were debating on a CNN panel where the topic of Social Security came up again, and he just kept talking about how Social Security is bankrupting this country. When I challenged him by mentioning the trillions of dollars the United States has spent on, yes, supporting Israel through military aid, but also other things like bribing Egypt to play nice with Israel, and the trillions of dollars that we have fought in wars on behalf of Israel. You don't think that that's crushing our economy a little bit? You don't think that's contributed to our debt far more than our Social Security system, which I will admit, there is a funding issue there, but Americans have paid into that system. Americans are entitled to that system.
Right.
Okay. They weren't handed that money. That money is the result of their hard work and their contributions to that program. What has Israel contributed to the United States? And why are they entitled to us literally taking out loans, like going into debt just to hand them more money? It's insane. $30 billion since October 7th has been funneled from the United States to Israel for them to carry out what I believe are atrocities in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Yemen. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Name a country they haven't bombed. So I just think that it's important to have these conversations. And I understand that people like Mark Levin will get very irritated by it, will get very offended by it because, he can't respond to it effectively or substantively. You can't defend the indefensible. The only thing you can try to do is shut people up. But some people can't be silenced. I'm one of them. You're another one of them. And they can go ahead and smear us all they want. But, when it comes to the marketplace of ideas, I think Americans have spoken in regard to who they agree with the most on this matter. And it's because they have felt the economic ramifications of the U.S. alliance with Israel.
I don't see how this particular set of beliefs wins any election. So if you only care about serving a foreign power, an irrelevant foreign power, you're not getting anything in return for it, and you don't care at all about the condition of your own country, I just don't see a market for that. I mean, I disagree with it, of course. I'm repulsed by it, of course. But as a sort of matter of democratic principle, I don't see how you get to 51% in an election with that. I just don't think that has a future at all. I think most people look at that and like, no. So why wouldn't there be some convergence from either side, all sides? Why wouldn't you have like a true, let's just argue about what to do to help America party? Like, isn't that inevitable?
I feel like that's in some regard forming already. The two-party system, I don't think bodes well for the American populace. I think what actually makes a lot more sense is maybe don't fully disregard labels if that's something that you're into. You want to think about labels. But consider that there are areas of agreement, actually vast areas of agreement between the two sides, especially as it pertains to foreign policy, especially at this current moment. So the idea that I wouldn't be willing to align myself with someone on the right who I might have a ton of other disagreements with, but we have the agreement on, hey, we need to find a way to organize and get our federal government to prioritize us. I'm going to work with people who agree with me on that. I don't care where they land on the political spectrum,
And if they're willing to admit fault in public in a sincere way, anyone who will do that is an ally of mine. Whether they regard me as an ally is another question, but I regard anyone willing to do that as an ally, both for moral reasons, it's my religion, but also for practical reasons. The only reason that we effectively bombed the nuclear sites in Iran is because no one ever acknowledged that Iraq was a mistake, Libya was a mistake, Afghanistan, the 20-year occupation was a mistake. Having nothing to do with how we withdrew, we shouldn't have been there for 20 years. It was all a mistake, and nobody ever admitted it, much less took responsibility, much less accepted punishment or sanction for it.
Actually, not wrong about that.
It doesn't get better, it just gets worse.
Well, what's amazing is how quickly people not only forget about all the lies that were told to the American people to manufacture consent to get us into that war, that preemptive war in Iraq, even people who remember, for some reason, allow themselves to be propagandized into believing that Iran is a real threat to America.
Right.
And if Iran was really a threat to America, I don't think they would hit the U.S. government up and let us know, hey, just to save face with our population, since you attacked us and our nuclear sites, we're going to drop a few missiles in this area near a U.S. airbase, but we want you to evacuate all your soldiers because we don't want anyone to get killed. Yeah, real threat to the United States. Okay. In reality, Iran is a threat. Iran is a threat to Israel. There's no question about that.
Yes.
Because Iran is
It's not.
now the only country left that isn't willing to sit by and allow Israel to engage in an expansionist project that involves
Iran is
slaughter,
not a threat to
land
Israel.
theft.
And we saw what Iran did. They like killed what 15 people over the course of 2 weeks. It's not, and all of those were in Palestinian ghettos too. Like it's not a threat to Israel. Israel just says it's a threat to Israel so that they have an excuse to bomb it, as they do every single country. Israel just wants total hegemony in that region. And they just lie. They just lie in order to get it. So I don't know why Anik is saying that. It's clearly not true at all.
And really much of what we've been seeing over the last 2 years.
You said a few minutes ago that you're proud to be Armenian, but that fundamentally you're American. And that suggests to me that the idea of my group versus your group, zero-sum identity politics, you're rejecting that in favor of some more universalist connection to other people. We're all kind of in this together.
Okay.
Yeah, in favor of.
Tucker Carlson realizes that nationality doesn't determine the team you're on for the entire life, or like parents' nationality. It doesn't determine your offspring's team as well. This stupid conversation they're having.
America and Americans, absolutely. Because if you my brother actually confronted me about this, and
You said that you're proud to be Armenian, but you also said that you're an American. That's a confusing concept for a lot of people. Care to explain how you can be Armenian and American at the same time? It seems to be two different things, right? I don't know. Interesting.
I think he made a really good point. It
I'm
made me start
confused.
thinking differently. He kind of referred to America devolving into like a commuter country,
Right?
Where people come here and they don't see themselves as Americans. They're born here. They don't see themselves as Americans. They kind of see this as like the land of opportunity. But they think my identity is not an American. My identity is I'm white, I'm black, I'm Latino, I'm Armenian, whatever. And you kind of like segregate yourself into these like high school like cliques where everyone else is your enemy, right? And you can't be thinking about Americans that way. There has to be something that bonds us together, an identity that brings us together. And that identity is that we are Americans.
Exactly.
We should want to see this country thrive. And I think a lot of people who do immigrate to this country want to see this country thrive. They love this country and they hate what has happened to their country, right? The freedoms that they were not afforded in their country of origin. But make no mistake about it. If you are here and you think, well, I'm just here to reap the benefits of what this country offers, but I don't really care about the American identity or experience, then you don't get it. You just don't get it. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
One of the things that
you have to care about the American identity or experience in order to be a real American. According to Anna Kasparian, famous leftist, you must be an American culturally in order to be a real American. That AoE attack gets me every time.
Ben Shapiro most strongly on, and I just want to be clear, I don't hate Ben Shapiro at all. And we disagree, obviously, on the use of force, on Israel strongly, but that doesn't make me emotional. Ben is looking at the world from a completely different perspective, which I reject, but I'm not mad about it. What makes me mad is the way that he describes the United States as like this economic zone, totally divorced from the actual people who live there and their customs and their history and their instincts and their connections to each other and to regions, to physical reality. He has no regard for that at all, in the way that big companies have no regard for that at all. Like, shut up and freeze your eggs and get back to work. And I feel like that's dehumanizing. Doesn't quite describe that attitude. It's an attitude that doesn't see people as human and in the service of what? Making money? I mean, it's everything about that I dislike. I feel like that's never challenged on the right. Increasingly, it's not challenged on the left either. It used to be big time. Less and less, but certainly on the right, anyone who challenges it is derided as a socialist. I'm not quite sure what that means. I don't think I'm a socialist. Never have been. But I don't think that we should tell people that they have no right to live in the town where they were born. Like, okay, so who are we serving here? What is the point of this exercise? To maximize profits to you? Like what? I don't know. Like, what is that?
Well, the first thing I thought of as I listened to Ben Shapiro make that argument was, oh, so I shouldn't have the ability to stay close to my family?
Exactly.
Like, think about what ties you to the community you live in, right? The community you grew up in. It's your family. It's your friends. It's your job. A lot of people aren't able to work remotely. And part of the reason why it's so expensive to live in, some of these cities or the most expensive parts of this country is because whether we like it or not, a lot of the jobs are concentrated there. So I would love nothing more than to live in a part of the country that isn't as overcrowded as LA is, to be honest with you. Like, I want to be in nature. I want a little more of a rural experience, but I don't have that luxury because I do have to work and my job is located here in Los Angeles. And any other media job I want, unless I work for myself, is going to be in a big city like New York. So it's just this really interesting idea. Like, I don't think most Americans are walking around feeling entitled. Like, most Americans aren't thinking to themselves, hey, you know what? I'm a bum and I sit on the
Yeah. People should be able to afford to live where, pretty much like wherever. If a place is more expensive, then they should be paid more. Like, pretty simple.
But it's hard to say I'm fat, right? So like I agree with it on one level, but it's also just not true. Like, we are subject to forces that we can't control. It's just a fact. I didn't write the tax code, for example. I don't have any control over the hiring standards at various companies or the admission standards at various schools. Those are systemic problems. It's just a fact. They are systems. Those are rules written by other people over which I have no control. So for Ben Shapiro to say, it's outrageous, it's a conspiracy theory to blame the system, does make me suspect maybe you're a beneficiary of a system that you can't actually defend. And so you're attacking me for asking questions about that system. That's just my reaction to what he said.
I mean, it comes across that way for sure. Obviously, I don't know what the motivations of Ben Shapiro really happen to be. What I do know is that when it comes to government handouts, he never really seems to have a problem with the government handouts that get sent abroad to other countries. You get what I'm saying? So there's that. But, you know, the other thing is, even if you're doing well, even if you're affluent, do you really want to live in a country where as soon as you walk outside your door, there's a massive homeless encampment?
Oh, I agree.
You know, do you really want to live in a country like that? Because I don't. Do you want to live in a country where close to 100,000 of your fellow Americans are dying of drug overdoses and our government seems to not really care much and in fact exploits that as a talking point to justify a potential war with Venezuela, which has nothing to do with fentanyl, by the way. Sure.
I know.
So
yeah, actually, last question on this, but I just want to clear it up. So we played that tape of Ben, attacking me because I really like Venezuela's anti-usury laws. Sorry, I do. Don't think you should charge 600% interest annually on a payday loan. I don't think that should be allowed, period. So I guess I'm a socialist. But I think it's predatory and cruel, and it's slavery, so no. But in that litany, he said, Maduro's bad. Okay, I'm sure. He's a dictatorial, seems to be. And he's importing fentanyl into the United States. Not meaningfully true, probably true in some, but he's not, Venezuela's not the main source of fentanyl in the United States. It's not even close, that's Mexico. So established, like that's not true what he said. So what is the motive in regime changing Maduro and, toppling the government of Venezuela? What is the motive there, do you know?
I think there are multiple different motives, including the fact that former Senator Marco Rubio, current Secretary of State, is a Cuban American, has had an axe to grind with Venezuela because of the fact that Venezuela is aligned with Cuba. And look, your sick little personal pet project shouldn't be something the United States is dragged into and is forced to fund. But the other thing, I think, it's funny, when the Venezuela story started developing, I'm like, oh yes, finally like a foreign policy story where we don't have to talk about Israel. But apparently, according to Senator Lindsey Graham, there's some weird connection with Hezbollah, which is that true? I have no idea, but I don't care. I don't care.
Exactly.
Are we going to go to war with every country that allegedly supports a militia or a group of people that are critical of or not in favor of?
I mean, I'm not saying a lot because you're just talking about stupid wars that America got into. And I mean, obviously, she's not really blaming Donald Trump with this shit. Talking about like Lindsey Graham. Yeah, it's your boy. It's your boy who's doing this. Like, Trump's the warmonger. I know that Anna Kasparian wants to pretend like, oh, it's this big shadowy government that's doing all of the bad things, but it's the people that are watching this. It's their favorite person that's doing these things, and that's kind of the tightrope that you have to walk. Voicing their actual valid concerns of funding a genocide and frivolous invasions of other countries. I mean, every invasion is frivolous, but like, just quite obviously on its face, a stupid war that Donald Trump is doing. Voicing concerns to that, voicing their concerns for those things, but also not actually criticizing the person who's doing the bad thing. So she definitely is in a precarious situation, but she's been learning. She's learning the ropes as a conservative grifter.
War with Israel? Like, that's crazy.
That does seem to be the criterion. I heard Lindsey Graham say that, and I was reminded that I'm against the 1983 barracks bombing in Beirut. Of course, it killed all those Marines. Apparently, that was Hezbollah. I think it's a little more complicated than that, is my very informed impression. However, I'm against that. They did it. I'm mad. But as a practical matter, that was 42 years ago. Hezbollah does not play a meaningful role in the decline of the United States that I have noticed. So, like, if you're really obsessed with Hamas, Hezbollah, and to the exclusion of the issues that actually affect our country, that tells me right there that you're not serving our country, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yes. And also, listen, if you're worried about terrorist groups that could potentially harm Israel or have harmed Israel, take it up with Netanyahu, who propped up Hamas and facilitated Hamas's funding. I mean, I think that's something that should be considered, and that's never talked about. That's never discussed. So currently, Israel, with the help of the United States, is funding these terrorist militias within Gaza. One of which, Abu Shabab, by the way, is the leader of one of them. I think it's called the Popular Front. He has ties to other terrorist groups like ISIS. So why are we cool with Israel providing arms to that group? That seems like basically setting things up for the future terrorist group that the United States will be goaded into helping Israel fight. It's so obvious if you're paying attention. So look, to answer your question, if it's not harming U.S. national security, I don't think we should be involved. Unless, you know, there might be some rare instances where it does make sense to get involved, right? Maybe there's...
Well, come on, Anna. That's the entire argument for Israel existing in the first place. We need a colonial client state there to dominate all of those countries so that they don't end up posing any kind of harm to it. That's the entire idea of Israel. It's like a preemptive domination so that we don't have any countries like Iran like rearing up and challenging America. Unless it poses a national security threat to the United States, what the fuck do you think the bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities was? It was sold as a defensive maneuver to stop Iran from getting a nuclear bomb. This is childish. This is really childish political analysis from Anna here.
Some sort of alliance that we're part of, and we want to protect our ally, but I mean, bounds of reason, obviously. With Israel, there are no bounds of reason. There are no limits. And Americans are just expected to shut up and take it. And some of us have decided, no, we're not going to shut up and take it. This is wrong. Our people are suffering, and our priority should be here at home.
Yeah, like, she's not anti-imperialist. The real anti-imperialist position is, why do we only care about Americans? Why aren't we worried about, like, people around the world? Notice how she hasn't really talked about Palestinians at all. She hasn't said, like, Israel's bad because it's an ethno-state. She's just like, Israel's bad because it's Jews that live there. And also, we're spending a lot of money on it. She said that it's in, like, Iran and in Iraq, it was Iraqis that pulled us into the war even more so. I don't know. Yeah, she's not really anti-imperialist. She's just the America First form of imperialism. What she really is just voicing the concerns that a lot of conservatives have over what Donald Trump has been doing lately. Which is, it's like a form of imperialism, but at its core, it's just, why are you spending money on missiles to bomb Iran, to bomb Venezuela, to send to Israel, instead of giving me tax cuts or, I don't know, reducing the price of gas or groceries or building new homes? That's what she's doing. She's just like, we need to have America first, and criticize all the things that, like, Meg is mad at Trump for doing, but not criticize any of the things that they're happy about that he did.
That was the winning message that Trump campaigned on.
I know.
So put your money where your mouth is, please.
Makes me sad to think about it. Anna Kasparian, clear thinker, a good person, as you proved today, I think.
Clear thinker? I'm not stupid enough to make me hate Jews. But actually, that's exactly what I would be doing if I was stupid enough to make them do it. Funny interview. All right, guys, I gotta go. That interview dragged on. Everyone, have a good rest of your night. Maybe we'll beat the witch lady tomorrow or something. I'm gonna just talk to everyone later. Peace.